Hey, this is Ciderhelm, and welcome to Countering Katarina. Check out Katarina's ability mechanics and my complete Katarina play guide by clicking on either of the videos above. You can also click the annotation at the top at any time to return to this table of contents. And if you're new to League of Legends or have friends or family who are, check out www.learntheleague.com to learn about my ebook. In lane, fantastic counters include Diana, Fiddlesticks, and Malzahar. Champions with targeted nukes and crowd controls, such as Annie, Kassadin, and Pantheon, should do fine. Avoid playing champions that rely heavily on skill shots or have limited survivability at a short range. In terms of overall team composition, champions like Nami, Galio, and Alistar are excellent. Let's talk a little bit more about Diana, as she's an ideal example of a good counter. At close range, Diana can tank Katarina's burst damage thanks to her shield. And since Diana's survivability is based off of a shield, it isn't affected by the healing reduction from Katarina's Death Lotus. Even if Katarina uses Death Lotus, Diana can very easily interrupt it with her Moonfall. The final nail in the coffin for Katarina is Diana's ability to easily pursue Katarina after a Shunpo, thanks to her Crescent Strike and Lunar Rush combo. As for reasoning, Katarina is countered in lane by several key mechanics. Range spells that are targeted and have a short cooldown tend to exchange well against her Bouncing Blades harassment. If these also have a crowd control or utility component, they can be even more effective, especially if they can shut down her ultimate. Despite the fact she has healing reduction on her ultimate, high sustain and high survivability champions may do fine against her simply because she may not be able to bring them low enough to combo for a kill. The reason champions like Nami, Galio, and Alistar are exceptional to have on the team is they offer easy crowd controls that either easily stop Katarina's ultimate or deter her from using it. In addition, they can help keep lower health champions alive, which in turn prevents her from snowballing in the middle of a team fight. Other great additions along these lines are champions like Hecarim, Malphite, and Blitzcrank, though tons of champions will work fantastically. During the laning phase, there are a number of things to keep in mind. Let's look at her Bouncing Blades first. This will be available often, and because she doesn't require a resource to use it, she will cast it frequently. Watch out for her moving in to try to land this directly on you, and either back off or use a strong nuke to punish her. It can be easier for her to line the blades to bounce across several minions to hit you. This allows you some reaction time, so move quickly if you can. The second thing to watch out for is her Sinister Steel AoE. She likely will want to use this to hit both you and minions, and she can easily get in range to do this with Shunpo. Again, keeping some distance between you and minions can help. If you can stay near your tower, Shunpo becomes significantly more risky for her to use to engage, not just because she can wind up in tower range when she blinks behind you, but also because it gives her a long distance to travel back without her mobility available. If she does happen to drop under the tower, crowd control her immediately. Don't bother with skill shots until after she uses Shunpo, unless you're intentionally trying to put Shunpo on cooldown for a gank. When looking to secure a kill, watch incoming minion waves and wait for an upcoming pack to arrive. This will reduce her options for easy targets to Shunpo for an escape. In the early game, the key to crippling Katarina is staying ahead of her. Obviously, killing her or pushing her out of lane is going to be ideal for this, but you can also do it by aggressively pushing the lane, potentially forcing her to defend the tower instead of roaming for kills. Katarina snowballs hard. Get help from your teammates to shut her down early if you need it. It's absolutely worth the investment to make sure she doesn't get an edge. Beyond all of this, keep your lane warded at the exits and warn allies when she's missing. In the mid and late game, there are a few things to keep in mind for countering Katarina. The first and biggest thing is to have crowd controls ready, ideally at least one saved to handle her ultimate. Beyond this, her magic damage in a one-off situation is not as high as many other casters, and she needs to be in range to make use of it. A little bit of magic resist can go a long way for anyone on the team. Unless Katarina is doing exceptionally well, sticking closely together when Katarina is nearby can be a huge deterrent. Even though she has excellent multi-target damage, she is often better served by harassing weaker opponents who are separated from their team. A wall of potential crowd controls and focus damage is very dangerous for her to engage in. When it comes to teamfights, your team will only be as strong as your weakest link. That is to say, having opponents who can be quickly burst down allows Katarina to easily reset her cooldowns and get even more damage out quickly. Weaker players need to stay alive. This means they need to worry about their itemization, potentially preferring health or magic resist, and it also means they're going to need to be more careful about their positioning. Allies can help by building aura items and using defensive cooldowns to keep them alive as necessary. In teamfights, always prioritize her unless you have a good reason not to. Even if she's behind in gear, she is still going to be a huge problem if she manages to use all of her abilities repeatedly to clean up. The bottom line is that you want to avoid having a weak link that allows her to easily knock your team out with a domino effect. Thanks for watching Countering Katarina. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for other awesome League of Legends content.